Hello, everyone, and welcome to our lesson today about giving simple instructions or directions in English. It's time for us to go ahead and start our lesson. So for those of you who are able, please come on into the Hangout. Please join me here, and we'll go ahead and get started with our activities and our lesson for today. All right, I see that we have Carolina. Hello, Carolina. Welcome to our lesson for today. How are you today, Carolina?
Hi, Carissa. I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for joining us today, Carolina. So, Carolina, I think this is the first time I'm seeing you. Please,
Yes.
please introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Carolina. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This is my second class here in
Uh,
Verbally.
okay.
I am journalist. I wanna speak more English. I had studied English for more than 7 years, but I don't speak. So I want to practice more here.
Okay. Well, you will definitely get lots of practice here.
Oh yes, I hope.
Yes, yes. You'll see. We'll see. We have lots of practice for today. Okay. Well, thank you for choosing verbally, and congratulations on your second class. Hopefully, you will enjoy it, and we'll see you back again for future lessons.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's also welcome your classmate Aka. Hello, Aka. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good today. So far, so good today. Thank you. All right, so Aka, this is the first time that I think you're in class with Carolina. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, hello, Carolina, and my name is A.K. Ken. But in the class, I often called Aka, and yeah, it's nice to see. I'm from Japan, and anyway, it's nice
Eke,
to see.
Eke.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. This new Hangout system just shows the AKA part. So many
Ah,
teachers call me as Aka, but it's okay because Aka
ah,
means red in Japanese. It does make sense in
okay.
Japanese. Yeah. Mhm.
Eka. Okay, good. No, I thank you for telling me that because I like to pronounce students' names correctly. So thanks for saying that, Eka. Okay. And so tell us a little bit more about yourself. Are you a student? Are you a professional?
Uh, I'm learning. I'm studying in a grad school now.
Ah, okay. And what are you studying?
Kind of American literature and a little bit about debate.
Oh, okay. So what do you think of the debate class? Are you a good debater?
Difficult, actually. Debate, but it's good. How can I say? It's like a role play. So sometimes people say, you know, their opinion in accordance with their how can I, their opinion. I mean, their faith or what they are thinking. But in
Mm-hmm.
the debate match, we we do two different parts. You know,
Okay.
yes, to support the opinion or to oppose the opinion.
Okay.
Even the same thing, I have to say the completely different thing in a different point of view, showing the evidence. So in such
Uh,
way, maybe people can get a more wider view actually to the things.
yeah. Well, that sounds pretty interesting. I'll have to do a class on that.
Probably, but yeah, it's difficult, but it's interesting. If I talk totally the wrong kind of different opinion, what I thinking, you know, yeah,
Yeah, so It's true. So you get to hear different points of views, different perspectives, and you can hear reasons to support those ideas.
Mhm.
Hmm. Very good. Yes, that sounds like a future lesson. Okay, very good. Well, thank you for your introduction, Eka.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well, let's go ahead and hear from your other classmate, Zhao. Zhao, how are you today? Joao,
Uh,
pardon. Sorry, Joao.
okay, it's okay. I'm
No,
finding you,
I still am not pronouncing your name correctly.
João.
Joao. Okay, okay. So,
Um,
Joao, you had an interesting weekend there in Brazil with the World Cup.
yes, we have the match and the penalties.
Yes, yes. Now that was interesting because I don't really know that much about soccer. I'm not very much of a soccer fan.
Me
Just
too.
yeah, just not very much of a soccer fan. But I have been watching the matches in the World Cup, and that day was the first day that I knew about the penalty kicks. Um, I'd never seen that before, and I found that very interesting. And so the first time I saw it was the match with Brazil, and I think it was Chile, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the match with Costa Rica. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's interesting. I live in Costa Rica, so
Mm.
I can tell you that after Costa Rica won the match yesterday, there was pandemonium here. It was wild. There were long parades of cars with their lights on. They were honking their horns. Everyone was waving the Costa Rican flag and screaming, and wow, it was pretty intense. I
Yeah.
actually got off the street as soon as I possibly could. I'm not much for crowds of excited people.
Very excited people.
Yeah, very excited people. And sometimes when people get really excited about things, they drink, and that's a little scary for me. So I just got off the street as soon as I possibly could.
Yeah, drunk people is dangerous.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Now, do you live anywhere near the stadiums where they're playing the World Cup?
Yes, I'm living in São Paulo, near from Itaquerão.
Ah, okay. Wow, I can only imagine what the traffic is like.
In the game is holiday.
Oh,
Mm,
okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, it's good. It's good for the workers. You get some extra time off.
Yes.
All right. Well, very good, Joelle. Thank you for sharing with us and for chatting a little bit. All
Thank you.
right. Let's go ahead and welcome David. Hello, David. How are you doing today?
Hi, Carissa. Good afternoon. I'm doing well.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you. I'm doing pretty good. David, every time I look at your picture, I get a peaceful feeling. Um, I don't think I've asked you where that picture was taken.
hmm Actually, I take a picture from my computer and I upload, but I don't have a story for the picture.
I
Was in
no,
the
no, it's okay. It's like but I enjoy scenery, and so looking at the greenish blue water there, it looks like I don't know if it's an ocean or if it's a lagoon, but it's actually a very peaceful scene.
yeah, it's a little relaxing. I think so. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, well, very good. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, one day we'll actually get to see what you look like.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Well, great to have you all here in class with me. And for those of you who are just joining us, who are viewing or who are just on the Verblin website, go ahead and feel free to come on into the Hangout, and then that way I'll get you participating in our activity for today. All right, very good. So as you can see from reading the class description today, today we're going to talk about giving simple instructions in English. Okay, so we're going to talk about questions that you can ask when you need some instruction or when you need advice on how to do something. Okay, and we're also going to talk about the verb tense that you use in English to answer such questions, or just to go ahead and just give advice or to give commands if needed. Also, we're going to talk about some specific words and phrases that you can use when you are telling someone when you're explaining the process of doing something. Okay, I find that you will still need a lot more vocabulary. Okay, when we talk about the processes of specific things, you may still need some additional vocabulary. So I'm going to type here in the chat box a dictionary site that I like. There's lots of them, so you can choose whichever one you like. But I like learnersdictionary.com. It gives, for me, I found that I get some real quick and thorough definitions to the words I'm looking for. All right, so very good. Nice job. Okay, so if you find that you need some additional vocabulary during the class, you can either ask me or you can just go straight to learnersdictionary.com and do a little bit of research on your own and find some additional vocabulary. Okay, and then our final activity will be to have you explain to us how to do something that you do well. Okay, so each of you will have a turn to express yourself. All right, very good. So let's talk about the verb form that we're going to use when we are talking about giving orders, warnings, or advice. Okay, well, that tense is called the imperative form. I'm going to type it here in the chat box. Okay, now I can't speak. Excuse me. The imperative form. All right, and this is used to give an order. You're in a position to give orders. You are a manager or a supervisor or owner of a business, or maybe you have people working for you, and you need to explain to them quickly and directly what they need to do. This is a tense that you could use. If you're going to give a warning, you need to tell someone to do something or to avoid doing something, you're also going to use this tense. And also, you're going to use this tense when you give advice. Okay, so here are those things in the chat box. All right, very good. So let's talk about how you form this tense. Okay, basically you take the infinitive form of a verb. Okay, the infinitive form is, of course, the word to plus your verb. That's your infinitive form. But you're going to modify it. Okay, you're just going to delete to, and you're just going to use your verb. Okay, so for example, to go just becomes go. To do becomes do. Do this or do that. Okay, to need, for example, becomes just need. Need. You need to do. Okay? All right, very good. In the negative form, okay, you're going to put the word do in front of not and then your verb. Okay, so to give you an example, I could say do not talk. More commonly, though, you'll see don't talk. Okay, or don't touch that. Okay, so you'll see the contraction don't, but of course that's do and not. Okay, all right, so basically that's how you form this tense. It's very simple. Okay, you could also include yourself, okay, in this particular tense. So you could say let us or let's go hiking, for example. Okay, this is a suggestion. All right, let's go hiking and include yourself in the sentence. Okay, now suppose you don't want to be so demanding. You don't want to offend anyone, okay, but you still need to give a command. You need something to be done. Okay, let's add the word please. Okay, so I could say, please don't talk. Or please, or let's say wash. Please wash the car. Okay, so depending upon who you're talking to, you may opt to make your command a bit softer by adding please. Okay? All right, are there any questions so far about when to use the imperative form or how to use it? Any questions so far? Okay. All right, I don't hear anything, so I think that means that there are no questions so far. All right, very good. All right, so let's talk about how you ask for direction. Okay. All right. For example, can anyone give me an idea? What do you know already? How can you ask for instructions or for direction from someone? Carolina, can you give me an example?
Some kind of repeat, please.
Yes. Can you give me a question? Okay, a request for instruction. So say you're a journalist and you may not be sure how to do a certain thing with your job. Okay, so how can you ask for advice or ask for help?
How can I do how can I do this? Oh my God, this job. Okay, how can I do this job?
Okay, yeah, good.
Very creative.
Yes, good, good. All right, so you could say, how can I do? All right, so how can I do this job? I'm going to type your sentence there in the chat box. All right. All right, another way to say that could be, how do I do this job? Okay, so there you have a different option. Okay, or you could also say simply, how I, okay, and then you fill in the rest. Okay, so how do I, and you say exactly what you need to know.
It's more usual?
Is it more common? No, you actually see both. They're both common. Or how can I? Actually, how do I? Because really, this is asking for an explanation of something. Can, when you use the word can, you're talking about your ability to do something. Okay, whereas when you talk about do, it's actually you're needing an explanation of how to go about doing the action of something. You're not talking about your ability to do. Okay, we're just assuming that you, once they explain to you how to do it, that you will be able to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Carolina. All right, let's see if we can get another example. Joelle, can you give me another example of a question that you can ask if you need to know how to do something?
Where is the pharmacy?
Okay, all right. Now, for that, you're asking for specific information. But remember, with these types of questions, we're asking for, okay, the process of getting there. So, for example, okay, we could say, how do I get to the pharmacy? Okay, so that's a different question than where is the pharmacy? Because I can say, okay, the pharmacy is in town. Okay, but you still don't know how to get there. So how do I get to the pharmacy? Okay, so that could be an example. Or, for example, if I need to know how to go about doing something, I could say, for example, what do you suggest? Okay, Joelle, tell me again, what is your profession? What job do you do? What work do you do?
I'm working in e-commerce.
In commerce, e-commerce.
E-commerce, like PayPal.
Okay.
It's a payment enterprise. I don't know.
Okay, so Joelle, if I want to start working for the same company, what do you suggest that I do?
Do you need do any purchases in web stores.
Okay, good. All right, so I was focusing on how you started that sentence. Okay, so to answer that question, here you go. You're going to use part of your question in your answer. I suggest you, and then you finish the sentence.
So,
Okay, so
okay.
here, I'm using the imperative form, and your answer is very direct. I suggest that you do X, Y, and Z. Okay, and then that way, that will get your foot in the door to this company. Okay, all right, very good. And an
Okay.
alternative to that could be, how do you suggest that I proceed? Okay, so what I'm asking you for is are specific steps. Okay, what specific things do I need to do in order to get a job interview at your company?
Okay.
Okay, all right, very good. That was pretty good, Joral. Very, very good. Nice job. All right, let's see. You're welcome. All right, Eduardo just joined us. Hello, Eduardo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, Carissa.
Good. You're welcome. All right, so let's talk about another way that you can start your explanation of a process. Sometimes you need to list the steps that a person is going to take. Okay, so I'm going to type that here in the chat box. So I'm going to say first you, then you, next you, and then finally you. All right, now let me give you an example. Okay, so if someone were to ask me, Carissa, how do I sign up for group lessons at Verbaling? I want to take a group lesson at Verbaling. Okay, so you all know how to do that now. So let's try to answer using the steps. Okay, all right, so who would like to try it? Who'd like to explain to us, how do you take a group session on Verbaling? Okay, now what I want you to do is list first you, then you, next you, and finally you. Okay, so that's how your response should look. All right, does anyone want to try it? Don't be shy.
Okay, let me try.
Okay, Eka, go ahead.
I almost forgot what anyway. First, I opened the Burbling site, and I was wondering what is happening there. Student talking, but I cannot join the room, chat room, not a classroom. So I searching for the site. I found the suggestion, and I need to purchase the ticket to join the class. One class ticket or ultimate ticket to join the class. So I purchased these tickets, and after that, another hurdle is I don't have a Google Hangout in my computer. I didn't have it, so I needed to download the Google Hangout, and finally I could attend the class.
Ah, very good. Okay, good. So right. So again, first you go to the Verbaling website. Then you purchase tickets or a ticket. Next you, right? So you press join. Finally, and next you download the app for Google Hangouts. And finally, you join a group lesson on Verbaling.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so remember, you're going to use that imperative form. First you buy, first you go to, then you purchase, then next you download, finally you join.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent job with your sentence structure, Eka. Good. Excellent job. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the first way that you can use this the imperative tense, and you can also list the steps that a person needs to take. Okay. Let's go ahead. We have a bit more material, and then we're going to get to our final lesson, our final activity. Okay, so let's say that you don't want to list the steps like this. All right. What's another way that you can explain to someone the steps? All right. So let's start off. Okay. So here's one way that you could start off. Okay. You could start off by saying, to begin. To begin, you should blah, 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 whatever you're going to say. Or, here's another option. The first is, okay, can everyone see what I'm typing here in the chat box?
Yes, for me.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, now I'm going to give you some options, and then I'm going to give you a chance to start off an explanation in one of these ways. Okay? All right, very good. So let's take a look at what I have here. Okay, so the first option is, to begin, you should X, Y, and Z. Okay, so let's see, David. David, if I want to let's say that I want to upload a picture of myself on Verbaling. How do I do that? And I just want you to tell me the first thing I need to do.
Okay. I have to tell you the first thing, yeah?
I'm sorry, say that again. I couldn't quite hear you.
Yeah, I have to say you what do you have to do for upload the picture, yeah?
Yes, so I just want you to tell me, you can use one of these introductions. To begin, you should choose one of those and just tell me the first thing I need to do.
Okay. I think, for example, the first thing that the first thing that you should do or begin is connect your cell phone to the laptop.
Good. Okay, so
Cable.
okay, good. Beautiful job. Okay, so you can start off with any way you want. Okay, to begin, you should connect your cell phone to your computer using a cable. That's a beautiful sentence. Very good. Excellent job. Okay, all right, Carolina. I want to become a journalist. How do you suggest that I begin? What's the first thing I need to do to become a journalist?
To begin, you should study journalism at the college.
Beautiful job. Okay, that was very clear, very direct. Great job, Carolina. Okay, all right, very good. So I'm going to ask Eduardo. Eduardo, I want to go to Brazil to watch the Costa Rica match on Saturday. How should I go about doing that? What do I need to do?
Well, the first thing you need to do is get a ticket for the match, for the game, because it's going to be really complicated. And the second thing maybe is book a plane before go there. Yeah.
Okay, good. So the first thing I need to do is to get a ticket into the game. That's true. So if I don't have that, then there's no need for me to buy a plane ticket to Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with less than a week to go. All right, very good. Beautiful job. All right, now you brought up a good thing, Eduardo. Okay, so after we begin, what do we now say? Okay, now to continue, you could say one of these things. Oh, really, Stephanie? Okay, good. I live in Costa Rica. All right, very good. So after you talk about the first thing or how you should begin, you could say something like this. After that, and then you continue. or the next is to, okay, if you don't want to say step, you could also use thing. The next thing you do is, okay? All right, now the next two sentences are very interesting. They're very similar to one another, but these are two additional options that you have. Okay, and this goes perfectly with what Eduardo was just telling me. Okay, so once you've done that, then you, okay, so he said, once you buy your ticket into the match, okay, once you've done that, then you buy your plane ticket to Brazil. Okay, so here's another sentence you can use that's similar. When you finish that, then you X, Y, and Z. Okay? All right, so these are some ways that you can continue a sentence that you've already started. Okay? Joelle. All right, so, okay, so Joelle, I'd like you to continue telling me. Okay, so Eduardo told me that if I want to go to see the Costa Rica match in Brazil, first I'd have to get a ticket. Then I need to buy a plane ticket. Okay, so what do I do after that? How do I continue the process?
The next step is search for a hostel.
Okay, good, because I'm going to need some place to stay. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then once I've done that, then what do I do?
Sorry?
Once I find a hostel, then what do I do?
Oh, if you can take a bus to the stadium. After that, you need to take a bus for the stadium and enjoy the match.
Very good. So I need to take a bus to the stadium. All right, very good. So you got me some place to sleep and transportation to the stadium. Excellent, excellent job. All right. Now let's finish this off. Okay? Now to finish our statements off, all right, you could say the last step is, or the last thing you do is. Okay, in the end, X, Y, and Z, when you've finished. Okay, or when you've completed. Okay, all the steps, then. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and finish off our stories, okay? Okay, let's go back to David, okay? So, David, you told me that if I want to upload a picture onto my computer, the first thing that I needed to do was to connect my cell phone to my computer. Okay, what do I do after that? How do I finish off the process?
Okay. The second thing that you should do is open the file in your computer and upload to the internet.
Okay, and then what's the last thing that I need to do? How do I finish off the process? What's the last thing that I do?
Okay, finally, or the last thing, finally, is uploading and finish. Yeah.
Okay, good. So the last thing you do is upload the picture that you want.
Okay. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that. Yes, very good. That's it. Okay? Good. All right, so let's put this into practice. Okay, so I'm going to give you some additional situations, and I want you to tell me from start to finish how I can proceed. Okay? All right, now remember, Remember, we said that when you use the imperative form, if you want to soften it just a little bit, you can add the word please. Okay, that's important. Okay, so Eka, let's suppose that we are all at the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the movie theater, and the movie has started.
Mm-hmm.
My cell phone rings, and I proceed to talk on the phone during the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what can you tell me, Eka?
To you,
Yes, what can you
talking.
tell me? Now you don't like the fact that I'm interrupting the movie by talking on my cell phone. What can you tell me?
Uh, uh, kind of. Why don't you talk uh, on the phone in the lobby of the theater during the
All right,
film?
okay, all right, good. Now that's a suggestion.
Is
All
it
right, what?
polite suggestion or?
Yes, I'd like the polite. Yep, the polite way. Okay, let's say that you want to start off with please. How could you say that? Now remember, the imperative form is that you may say please, and you're just gonna use the infinitive verb, take off the to, and then say what you want to say.
Okay. Would you please talk on the phone at the lobby during the
In the
film?
in the lobby. Okay, good.
In
So
the lobby.
in the lobby. That's right. So you could be the usher or the movie attendant, and you could say, Miss, please talk on the phone in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
The movie has started.
Yes.
Okay, so you're telling me directly what I need to do, but you're softening it a bit using the word please. Okay, good. Excellent job. Okay, Carolyn.
Maybe
Yes.
would you please have too polite? Maybe I need to say please a bit stronger. In
So if
that case.
you want something stronger, okay. You could say,
I mean, I said, would you please? But maybe please is more effective in that situation.
yes, it's more direct. Okay, so
Okay.
please talk on
Maybe
please use your phone in the lobby.
Okay.
maybe would you mind is with irony. Would you mind to
Mm-hmm.
take it out outside? Yeah.
Yes.
It's polite, but it has something implied, no? Yeah. Would you mind?
Mm-hmm. That's it. Okay, now that's it. Now you've implied a lot with this question. Do you mind? Mm-hmm. So the person, if most people will understand what you're saying. Most people know that it's rude to do that. Okay, unless they mean to be rude and they're just not going to change their behavior. Okay, they'll just continue to do what they're doing. Yep. Also, would you mind? That's true. So would you mind using or going to the lobby and finishing your conversation there? All right, very good. So we got some good options. Okay, so thanks for giving me your thoughts there. All right. Okay, now let's have another example. Okay, so let's say that you are a parent and you want your teenager to clean the house while you go to work. Okay? All right. So what can you say? What can you say to your teenager so that they actually do what you want them to do? All right. Let me see. Carolina, can you help us with that one?
Yes. Well, if please clean the house because I need to go to the work.
Okay, I'm going to type that here. So please clean the house. You could say, so you said, because I need to go to work, okay, without the article. Okay, because I need to go to work. Or you could also say, while I'm at work. While I'm at work.
While I'm
Okay.
at work. Okay.
Right. So what you're saying there is that by the time I come home, I want the house clean. Okay, so but there's a distinct difference. Okay, that sounds stronger. Okay, so you could say, listen, by the time I come home, I want the house cleaned. Okay, that's a stronger way of saying it. Okay, but you could also say, please clean. Okay, there's your please, and then your imperative. Please clean the house while I'm at work.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it's direct, okay, but it shows respect for the person's dignity, but it also shows that you mean business. You want it done.
Oh,
Hmm.
yes. More
Okay.
emphasis.
Yep. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So let's suppose now. Let's move on to our next situation. Okay, here it is. You are the boss. You're the owner of a company, and you notice that your employees are arriving to work late on a regular basis. Okay, so what can you say? So you call a meeting of all your employees. What do you say? Okay, Joelle, can you help us with that one?
Um, Please, can you uh, arrive early?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. So please, can you arrive earlier? Okay. Now remember that you are in a position of authority.
Yes,
Okay. So what you say here needs to be a bit more direct.
you need to arrive early.
Okay. So you need to arrive earlier. Okay. That's one way. Okay, that's one way to say it. Now, you're in a position of authority, so you can say that. Okay, everyone, I'm noticing that you all are arriving late to work. You need to arrive earlier. Mm-hmm. All right. Are there any other ways that we can say that? Okay. Are there any other ways that anyone can think of that we can let our employees know that they need to arrive?
Well, if you are the boss, you need to make a threat in this situation, a light threat. Like, for example, I don't want to put a time clock on the entrance. Don't make me do it. Something like that.
Okay. Okay, so you can make a statement of fact. Okay, so here at our company, we do not have a time clock, a punch-in clock. Okay, um, and I would prefer to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. There's your light threat. Okay, we want to keep things that way. So, please. Okay, so here it is. If you want to say please, please arrive on time, or make sure. Mhm. There you go. Okay, so there it is. It's polite, it's direct, and you're making your point. All right, very good. So that's just another way that you could use this imperative tense. All right, now giving instructions. Okay, so let's go back to giving instructions. All right, so what if I'm asking you for advice? Okay, so I come to you, David, and let's say I'm a guy. Say I'm one of your guy friends, and I say, David, I see a beautiful woman over there, and I want to ask her out. What do you think I should do, or how should I ask her out? Okay, David, what could you tell me? Tell me the steps that I need to take in order that your male friend, not me, but your male friend would need to take to ask a beautiful woman out on a date. Okay, I think David stepped away. Okay. All right, good. Let's talk to Eka. Eka, what steps does a guy need to take in order to ask a beautiful woman out on a date?
Very difficult situation. Because she's a stranger, right? On the
Yeah,
street.
yeah. So
Um,
let's say that she's just someone that you see. You maybe on your way to college or to the university, you see this beautiful woman sitting in the park reading a newspaper every morning.
Okay. Every morning you're reading a newspaper. Maybe uh, he needs to have opportunity to talk with her at the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay, so first,
The first,
uh-huh.
yeah, he needs to get the opportunity to talk with her,
Mm-hmm.
and then um, kind of searching for the common interest or common topic,
Okay, common ground. Uh-huh.
common ground, and 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 then uh, how can I say, to check the reaction from her,
Mm-hmm.
and if the reaction is seems good, yeah, finally asking her going out.
All right, so let's jump to finally. Finally, remember, okay, the verb tense that you want is the imperative, the infinitive minus the to. Okay, so finally, ask her out on a date.
Yeah, ask her out. Yes.
Okay, that was pretty good, Eka.
I don't know, but
He said, I don't know if it's going to work, but it sounds good. In theory, that sounds really good. Okay, very good. All right, let's go to a bit of an easier topic. Okay, let's talk about Facebook. Okay, okay, does anyone here use Facebook?
yes.
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 Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to talk to Carolina just for a moment. Carolina, I do not have an account on Facebook. How do I open an account on Facebook, Carolina?
First, you need to open the site.
Mm-hmm.
Then you subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Then you subscribe yourself. No.
Okay, so do you mean that I need to set up an account, or I
Yes.
need to put? Let's say, so then you need to put your information.
Yeah. So then you put your information.
Mm-hmm.
Then you fill the formulary.
Okay, so fill out the form. Uh-huh.
Fill out the form.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, you choose your pictures,
Okay.
and you can start to use.
Okay, good. Excellent job. Okay, so you use the order words first, next, then, and finally. All right, and you also use the correct verb tense. Okay, first you, then you, finally you. Very good. Good. Now I know how to go about opening an account on Facebook. Excellent job. Now I really don't have an account on Facebook. I tend to use other social networks, but not quite that one. Okay, very good. Let's talk about another social network that's pretty popular, another social connection. What about Instagram? Does anyone use Instagram?
I have accounts, but I don't use it often.
Okay, so you have you have an account. All right. What about Twitter? Does anyone use Twitter?
Yeah, I
No.
have.
Okay, so Eka said yes. Who else said yes? Joao, did you say that you have Twitter, that you use Twitter?
No, I don't use.
Okay, so you don't use Twitter. What about you, Eduardo? Do you use Twitter?
No Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter.
Okay. All right, tell
I'm
us
not a
what.
fan of social networks. Yeah.
Okay, all right, so tell us what you use.
Well, I use my mobile phone, of course, and with maybe WhatsApp and another application to communicate with friends and family. And that's it. I don't want to waste too much time in front of my computer with that. Yeah, I do
Okay,
other things.
got it. Okay, beautiful. Good. Now, WhatsApp. Very good. Okay, so let's see. So if someone were to say, listen, I want to be able to text message, to send text messages to my family and friends that live in other countries. Okay, what do you suggest, Eduardo? What do you suggest? Now tell us about WhatsApp. Okay, tell me about how I can go about using WhatsApp.
Okay, if you want to communicate with people in abroad, you should use a free way to do it. So a free way, I mean something that it is already in your build. So the first step is to download an application in your mobile phone, and usually you have a free trial period to use it. So maybe if you are going to travel once, it's perfect. If not, you have to pay just a small amount of money, so it's not too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing that you are going to need is the phone number of the people you want to communicate, and you can put it in your agenda in your mobile phone, and you can keep the contact, and just like you make a phone call, you can use any other application with your contacts. So, and you can write different kind of text and send it to your family or friends. Yeah.
Ah, good. Excellent job. Okay, so, wow, your vocabulary was very good there. You said if you want to communicate with people living abroad. That was a very good word. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could say living in other countries. That's just fine, but you could also use the word abroad, living abroad. Very good. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't use too much the second thing, the third, yeah, because it's just a general explanation, so that's why I use more then, yeah, the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
shorter to use then.
Mm-hmm.
It's more edgy for a conversation trying to explain something. You know.
Yes, that's true. Okay, now that does make a difference, and you bring up a good point. Okay, sometimes you can just say first, second, third. Okay, if you want to, if it's really important that the person follow each step, okay, in that particular order. Okay, if you just mean to be a bit more general, you just say the way that you did. First you, then you, next you, and finally you. Mm-hmm. Good, very good. All right, the other thing that I want to mention is with vocabulary. Okay, so in the chat box, I have save the numbers in your contacts.
Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So agenda is not a word used for that. Okay, yeah,
No.
it's for your put together. Is like in a book. Yeah, it's for all your appointments and different things in the agenda. Okay.
Yeah, you can write numbers in an agenda. Okay, no, but that's actually the physical book, and you may have a section for phone numbers. Okay, but when you're talking about your contacts, you can simply just save it in your contacts, and you'll hear people say that quite often. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then also obtain. Okay, you could say obtain the numbers, or you could also say get the numbers. If you need to look for them, look for the numbers. Okay, that's some additional vocabulary. Okay, of the people you will be in contact with. Okay, now it's important to say the with, all right, so that you're going to be in contact with. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Thank you.
beautiful job. So now we know how to do quite a few things. We know how to do quite a few things here in class. All right, okay, the very last thing that I want to talk about is that this is very useful. If you are sharing a recipe, okay, you may be sharing a recipe to your favorite chocolate cake or to a mixed drink that you like. Okay, so you could write in an email the steps that a person needs to follow in order to make a certain dessert or drink. Also, if you have house guests, I'm not sure if any of you do, if you tend to have family or friends that will stay at your home. Okay, it tends to be that with everyone's home, there's something interesting. Okay, there's you have to, for example, where I live here in Costa Rica, we tend to use gas stoves or stove tops. Okay, and I'll just give you an example. In my kitchen, I have a gas stove top. Okay, so it's not the full stove, but just the top, and it's connected to a cooking gas cylinder. But the top on the cylinder, it doesn't seal all the way. So if you open it, if you open the seal in order to let the gas out to cook with, if you don't turn it off, if you don't seal it again, then gas will slowly leak out or seep out into the room. So for me, if someone was going to cook in my kitchen, I would say make sure that you seal the gas cylinder when you're finished. Okay, that's a warning. Okay, it's very important because if you don't and then you light a match, that's it. Okay? Or for example, in the bathroom, the way that they made the floor is not at an angle. So in the showers, it's not at an angle, so the water doesn't drain. So I would say once you take a shower, make sure that you sweep the water down the drain. Okay, so when people visit your home, you get specific directions. Or when you go to a hotel, okay, there are specific instructions that you need to follow for check-in, for check-out, use of the internet, and things like that. Okay, so now that we're aware of different ways to ask for advice, okay, to receive or to receive instructions, now you'll see it everywhere. Okay, but now you know the correct way to do it. All right, does anyone have any questions about what we've talked about today? Any questions?
A question.
Yes.
In the imperative form, also when we buy a device, electronic device, for example, there is a lot of instruction in, and they usually start with the verb. It's a more imperative way, like open the tap of the device and connect the. They don't say you should or you need or
Yep. It's just a very simple. It's a quick way to get right to the point. Okay, when you have instructions, usually the paper is usually small and the font is very small. So they have to tell you, they have to give you a lot of instructions in a small space. Okay, so usually when you see written instructions, you'll see it that way. Just they start right with the verb and then they tell you exactly what you need to do. You might find that helpful if you're giving a seminar or if you're giving instructions to a larger group. You may find that you do that as well. You may list the instruction steps on the board. Okay, so turn to the introduction page. Okay, look at the first paragraph. Susan, please read the first paragraph. Okay, so because of time, you may need to just get right to the point. You may not have time for the pleasantries. Please do, please not. You may just get right to the point.
Yeah, it's more impersonal. Yeah, I understand. It's just the writing way to tell or to a lot of people at the same time. Yeah, it's impersonal. Yeah, I understand.
Yep. There you go. Good, great question. All right, everybody, let me just thank you for being here in the group session with me. Please look out for my future group sessions, and also if you'd like to sign up for a private lesson, you can do that on the Verbaling website. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, everybody.